When you look at this vehicle, what was the biggest surprise for you that you didn't expect?
There really wasn't much that we didn't expect. We were looking for extreme acceleration, which the EPA had already noted. We were looking for, the luxury and the safety rating, which it was already kind of out there that they would get to this 5-star rating. I think what was surprising in a modest way was just kind of the subtle details around convenience with the accessory hatch and some of the features on the inside. But really, they had touted this car very aggressively into the launch, and I think they delivered well.
When I read through your model for Tesla is very interesting going forward over the next year because your numbers seem like they're certainly lower than the street on a revenue basis. Do you think Tesla is going to hit its big number, its big recently lowered number of 50,000 vehicle sales in this calendar year?
Yeah, I don't think there's any real question around that. They've discounted the production ramp here on the Model X as well as the impact of the Model S.
Wait, sorry, can you repeat that again? I'm sorry. What's your expected? What did you say about the production ramp?
They've already discounted the production ramp on the Model S with the impact from the Model X going through these lines. And I think that 50,000 vehicle number is very, very achievable, even with some things going massively wrong for them in the fourth quarter.
In your note about this today, you suggested that the Model X production could slow the production of the Model S. Explain that.
It's just clearly about how these lines are being used. Once you switch over from one vehicle to another, the Model X production takes some time to switch over, and then you've got folks ramping up on their ability to actually make these cars. We saw it with the Model S; they were very slow and very methodical to make sure that all these cars came out extremely high quality, and I think they're going to do the same thing here as they ramp up the Model X and make sure they don't make any mistakes and really err on the side of quality rather than quantity here.
So what's the number that you think? Well, let me ask actually the date. When do you think the cars will actually, because this is not a production vehicle probably made mostly by hand, and there will only be a few of these. Did they say how many they were going to roll out of these sort of founders cars, of friends and family cars that are non-production vehicles?
There'll be, in the tens or dozens in that realm. We really don't have any Model X's in our 4Q numbers. We're expecting the real shipments to begin next year. And I think this is really just demonstrating that they can make these cars, and then getting an automated line where this is really efficient production is really going to come over the next 2-3 quarters.
Wait, you don't expect them to sell any Model X cars in 2015?
Yeah, we're just, given the low number that we would expect them to ship, we just haven't included any really in our expectations here.
So, wait, I'm just trying to unpack that. You do expect them to sell the cars, but you haven't put that number in your model yet?
Yeah, 10 cars, it's give or take with the Model S. It's not a ton, and we think it's kind of a rounding error with overall estimates.
Give me some context for how far the car can drive, because one of the things we know is that the Tesla has said the minimum acceptable limit for how far a car should go to full charge is 200 miles. How far does this car go?
The estimates are 250 to 257 miles, depending on the configuration of the drivetrain, and that definitely exceeds that 200-mile limit.
And indeed, the 200-mile limit is also the supercharger stations are sort of clustered in 200-mile distances that Tesla has built, which is a pretty big deal.
Absolutely. They've built out an extensive network around the entire continent, and plus they have all of the stations in people's homes where they can charge these things and actually just charge those batteries. We think one of the more interesting ways to think about this company is the mobile network and stationary network of energy storage that they've got plugged into the electrical grid, and how they're going to be able to use that going forward.
When you look at the car itself, I don't know if you're in New York today, so you probably were not at the event. How good are the seats in the third row? It seems to me that seats sitting over the wheel well in a third row wouldn't allow for a 6'5" person like me to sit in those seats, or maybe not even an adult at all.
Yeah, Elon's a pretty big guy, and he looked comfortable in that back row. So, maybe not 6'5", but certainly 6'1", 6'2". Looks like they fit in there reasonably well.
But he is a picture of grace, though. Look at him. He's like a superhero. He could fit in anything. An iron suit flying over the earth, don't you think?
That's not my real expertise on commenting on grace, but I'll take your word for it.